Hey peoples, this is another movie review of the Netflix film The Five Bloods. The Five Bloods is a movie about a group of veterans that returns back to Vietnam in order to retrieve gold that they found during the Vietnam War. And that's the movie. So I'm just gonna come straight out with it, I absolutely hated this movie. But before I explain why, let me mention a few positives. First off, I really enjoyed the soundtrack. Sometimes the music didn't fit the scene, and sometimes it built up like something was going to happen, only to present us with nothing, but I enjoyed the music overall. I like the aspect ratio change when the movie transitions from the present to the past. I was happy to see Jonathan Majors. He's a great actor and he should definitely be in more things. I like the part in the movie where they put on bug spray when they were going into the jungle. It's small and it's funny, but you never see that in movies, so I like that they included it here. Also, there's a Craigslist joke in here that is pretty good. And that's all. Some of these positives sound dumb, but this movie had me struggling. For most of the movie, I was just waiting for it to end, and my main issue was the structure. The movie starts off with a blunt opening, but that continues throughout the movie when scenes transition to a new one. Nothing is smooth, the movie just lacks flow and pace. The movie also throws random pictures on the screen of real people that the characters are talking about. The first time was kind of jarring, but I thought, you know what, this is a movie about vets, and they're talking about a vet at the moment, so maybe this is just a thing that highlights forgotten soldiers throughout the movie. And I was like, okay, cool. But then 30 seconds later, they mention Aretha Franklin and throw her picture on the screen, and I'm like, wait, what? And then, during a very serious, highly stressful scene, they show a picture of an Olympic athlete. It's all jarring and it takes you out of the movie. And each one of these images comes with a story, which leads me into my next issue with the movie, the constant shoehorned history lessons. There are so many times in this movie where people aren't having real conversations, they're just spitting history facts at one another. And I'm sitting here wondering, where do people talk like this? And it feels so forced. There's a scene where a French man comes up to one of the main characters and says something along the lines of, "You silly Americans with your blah 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 blah." And the main character replies something along the lines of, "Black people didn't vote for Donald Trump." It just made me groan. Not because it was a false statement, but because the whole dialogue was there just to set up that one line. But let me move on and talk about the characters actually speaking those words. I didn't care. I didn't care about any of them. The movie starts off like we're going to get to know these people, but we really don't. Instead of spending time developing these characters, we are pushed back and forth between the past with the war and the present, where they always end up yelling at each other. The movie even introduces us to secondary characters and has them speak dialogue that makes it seem like we got to know them. Like they bonded with one of our main characters for an extended amount of time, but they didn't. So the dialogue and the emotion that they're speaking with makes no sense. The most annoying character was played by Delroy Lindo. His character is on edge for nearly the whole movie. And I understand that this man has issues due to the war, but they just gave him too much screen time. If he has to be the focal character, you can have other characters in a scene on their own talking about him. But watching an unhinged man for nearly 2 hours made me lose my mind. Also, he breaks the fourth wall near the end and just starts talking/preaching straight at the camera. The sucky part about all of this is that I enjoy all of these actors. The movie just gave them shallow characters. And when you don't care about the characters, you don't care about the movie, and that's what happened to me. There are also a few small things like random conveniences that push the struggling story forward, and also dumb things like characters seeing multiple people die from landmines, but still walking through this forest like they have nothing to care about. But those are really nitpicks at this point. This feels like a movie that wanted to convey a message and teach history, it just didn't execute. Instead of creating dialogue that felt natural, they decided just to vomit out history books and beat the viewer over the head with facts. It just felt lazy. And the Black Lives Matter message feels like it's shoved in and tacked on instead of integrated seamlessly in the movie. And this is even more disappointing because the actual story in the movie is intriguing. Maybe if you're a Spike Lee fan, then you're used to the way he presents his movies, but for a random person watching a movie, it's just confusing and unenjoyable. I rate this movie as a waste of time, and I know I'm in the minority about this because people are raving about it online, so I look forward to the comments. But that's all, peoples. Let me know what you think. Thanks for listening. Whatever. God bless. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later.